We were discussing you last week on the show, and I think I think you're flipping lazy narratives on their heads, right? Because forever and a day, we've looked at players who emote, right? Where you can see those moments of frustration, you can see the moments of insecurity, you can see the banter back and forth with your team, you can see the emotion, you can see the highs, you can see the lows. And for 40 years, we've equated that very lazily with, oh, that's not mental toughness. Mental toughness looks calm and stoic, and it's Sampras, and it's the quiet players. And I think you have completely flipped that on its head, because it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter if you are having issues with a given shot. It doesn't matter. I completely admire your ability to be who you are, and also, like, you didn't need everyone to think a certain thing. You just were tough, right? Like, you didn't need the accolades to go along with it. But props, because I'm on here, I'm going, when are we just going to say that she deals with these moments as well as anyone in the world, and she's one of the mentally tougher players on earth? Like, at some point, results have to win in this conversation.
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree with you that calmness, that's not the show of mental toughness, Like, but it's, for some people it works. It's not like, okay, there is only one way. No, there is not only one way. Like, some people, this is just the way they are, they hold everything inside. For me personally, I found that, I don't know, for how many years I was trying to figure my emotions, and everyone told me, like, I have to keep it inside, I have to stay calm, I have to be like that player, like no emotions player, but this is not who I am. And we spoke with the team, and that's why sometimes you see those those funny videos of me, like, yelling at my team, throwing the racket at the US Open, which I didn't throw the racket. I was actually trying to pass the broken racket, to my coach, but whatever. And we have these emotional moments, and it works for me, because for me, if I hold it all inside, like, I get too crazy, and I want to, like, it's too much, like, so much of angriness inside, and I cannot think clean. I cannot think about what should I do on court. I just get into that emotions, and that's it. And that's how I used to lose all of the matches, because I was tense all the time. And now, with, like, okay, I feel pissed for whatever reason on court, like I missed the easy shot, whatever, I can throw the racket, and I can yell Aryna, I can whatever, say some terrible stuff to my team, just to throw it out. And okay, and then I recharge, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to think, I'm ready to throw that angriness and that craziness about winning, like, on the opponent, and then I'm ready to go. And this is where I get this mental toughness, is like, I'm throwing it out, and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I was sitting next to someone who was a fan of tennis, and peppering with questions at your US Open final. And listen, it goes a certain way, it ebbs and flows. In the second set, it's going away from you. You come back, and they're going, "Well, look, she's frustrated. Is this going to get away from her?" I'm like, no. She's literally letting this go so that she can navigate the next 20 minutes of her US Open life. Like, at some point, we have to look in the mirror and say, listen, this is her process, and this is what works best for her. Like, I mean, not all personalities are the same. McEnroe's a nut job, but, like, he I don't think he could have acted any differently. Like, I don't think that's the best version of the way that he could have acted. Anyways, I think you're doing wonders for not just defining mental toughness a certain way.
Every player should find their own way how to stay focused, and how to stay mental tough during the match, and always keep fighting the way. And you have to find your personality, the way it works for you. I agree with you. There is so many different ways to control yourself and to be a fighter.
Thank God, because if you would have come in here and told me that was wrong, and I'm just going, like, guys, at some point we just have to call her incredibly mentally tough. She's in tough situations every week, and she always steps up and hits her shot. I don't know. I've become a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of process, progress, and to see your kind of tennis journey in the last 4 or 5 years, it's just a testament to hard work, self-awareness, and having the right people around you. So I'm a huge fan of what you've done.
I'm just lucky to have my team around me, to be honest.
Good. I'm glad that
you work from them.
I'm glad you say it out loud. I'm glad they realize it. It seems like they are so passionate about you, and I'm sure that's because of what you give to them as well. So it's just fun to watch. Special thanks to our friends at Wilson for I don't know what kind of pull they have beyond providing her with the weaponry to win all those slams, but they helped us get Aryna on the podcast. So props to our friends at Wilson. That was fantastic. Like every part of that is why the tennis world has come to love Aryna Sabalenka, because it's this weird mix of excellence and self-awareness with a dose of like self-deprecating humor and fun. Mike, what were your takeaways?
I mean, she's as relaxed in person as she seems to be like when she's not on the court. Yeah. But like her explanations about, her mental state and letting the anger out and letting everything out and then being able to reset off of that, I thought was just so fascinating. I think everyone should apply that in general life. But I also, from a tennis standpoint, I thought, the drop shot, confidence in her drop shot was born out of necessity, right? Out of injury. And then even the way she talked about, the pathway towards fitness, that she felt weak through her back and her legs. And then that was a multi-year process. And to hear you guys have that conversation. But then also I'm excited to pick her for Wimbledon 2025.
If we're allowed to, we're going to have to get approval. I just think she's so cool. I think self-awareness is a superpower. I really, really do. And especially in sports, she knows how good she is, right? She's like, yeah, I was on a different level during the US Open. But that doesn't mean I will be in Australia. Like I have to keep this machine going. And you could tell that even though she just finished number one, it's almost like she doesn't want to stop because she knows she has momentum. She knows she was the best player. These are my words, not hers now, but like she knows she was the best player for 2024. It's almost like you don't want to stop anything because it's going your way. The other thing, I just love the out and out appreciation of her team and knowing that it's not listen, she has to go out there and produce, but she understands it takes a village, and she is more than happy to acknowledge and celebrate her village.
Yeah. What would you have done if Brad Gilbert would have walked in and said, hey, I'm going to put this tiger tattoo on my face ahead of a US Open final? I love that story that she forgot they even made that bet, and then she let him ride with it. She just did it.
I will say, like, I would have been like, oh, I don't want like the distraction, because sure as shit, he puts that on his head, and I'm in a box and people are going, does her fitness guy have a fucking head tattoo that he didn't have yesterday? Like it's
and she let it go. She just said, yeah, let's enjoy it. This is us.
Or I would have made sure that it was a one-day sponsor for something, but it's just, but I will tell you, like you mentioned that, and like the days of levity where you accomplish something. So Brad Gilbert's scared of heights.
Okay.
Doesn't like them. Nope. And he made a bet that, we got together in the summer before Wimbledon. He made a bet that if I won a Masters 1000 that summer, he would go skydiving.
All right.
I won 2. and sure enough, play finals of Cincy on a Sunday. We're in somewhere out of New York. We had to fly to New Jersey, and his ass jumped out of a plane. And I remember we land, and he's just shaking his head, like full stress BG, walking around like. And I remember we had a car waiting for us to take us back into the city. We drive about 3 minutes down the road. We're still in this residential neighborhood. I watched Brad Gilbert pull over in some random neighborhood in New Jersey and just vomit in someone's lawn.
No.
Yeah. So that's our version of the tiger tattoo.
There has to be a video somewhere of him jumping out of the plane.
It was before it was before like we lived with a movie studio in our pocket. It's just he will not deny that though. Anyways, but I just love that we're now realizing you don't all have to operate the same way. Like if you're a coach, you can't teach I have coaches that are like, I teach everyone, Andre's backhand, and I'm like, no, you don't. They're like no, I'm good at tennis. I'm not capable of hitting that. Like, it's just, I think owning your space. And I think especially on the women's tour right now, it's fantastic. Ego runs stress, but she is so dominant in a different way with preparation and movement and the way that she can create spin. Coco it operates in a different way, and we just have great personalities. And I think Sabalenka is a outsized personality amongst personalities. You knew the power was there. You could see the raw gifts. I love that she went into specifics about how to kind of fill those gaps, right, and become a complete tennis player and not just kind of a one-trick pony as far as the power and the being a physical specimen. It's nice when you suspect things for players and they come in and go, yeah, plain speak, this is what we had to do, and this was the checklist, and this is how we went about it. Again, it doesn't happen by accident. So happy that she was able to come on, and also props. She just finished her season.
Yeah.
The last thing she wants to do is get on a Zoom, and
she was heading to the airport like in an hour. Yeah, and she jumped on with us. So
very gracious, very nice. We are Aryna Sabalenka fans, like much of Earth is now, and she didn't disappoint. Going into certain interviews that they're going to go a certain way. You hope that with Sabalenka, you're going to get the part where she's laughing and joking and making fun of herself and her team, and I think that's why people are drawn to her, and she didn't disappoint. This was fantastic. I was so happy to get the chance to talk to her. It's fun doing this podcast. We don't travel too much, so I like to think we can kind of be unbiased. But listen, after seeing her personality and having a conversation with her, she makes it tougher to be unbiased because she is so forthcoming and honest about everything. So thank you, Aryna. If you like that, be sure to follow us on all the socials. Mike, where do we go for all those?
X, Instagram, I think all at Served Podcast. Social Sophie will hook you guys up with some stuff that'll make your day better.
Awesome. She will.